Welcome back, dear viewers, to another spine-chilling episode of our haunted storytelling series. If this is your first time joining us, your guide through the eerie and unexplained. Together, we've explored countless tales of terror, from abandoned asylums to cursed forests. But tonight's journey takes us deep into the heart of one of Florida's most iconic yet underappreciated hotspots for supernatural activity, Miami City Cemetery. In this second installment of Most Hauntings of Miami City Cemetery, we'll delve into locations steeped in history, tragedy, and whispers of the supernatural. This isn't just a tour, it's an odyssey into the unknown. Nestled in the bustling urban sprawl of Miami, the Miami City Cemetery stands as a silent sentinel of the city's past, its weathered tombstones and moss-draped mausoleums bearing witness to over a century of life, death, and everything in between. Established in 1897, it is Miami's oldest cemetery and serves as the final resting place for pioneers, politicians, soldiers, and everyday citizens whose stories have shaped the vibrant tapestry of this modern metropolis. Yet beneath its serene surface lies a labyrinth of spectral intrigue, where restless spirits roam and echoes of the past refuse to fade. From Civil War veterans to victims of tragic accidents, from vengeful lovers to forgotten souls, the cemetery holds within its gates a collection of haunting tales that defy logic and challenge the boundaries of reality. Each site within its grounds carries its own ghostly inhabitants, its own chilling legends, and its own unique aura that will send shivers down your spine. Whether you're a seasoned horror enthusiast or someone simply curious about the darker side of Miami's storied history, this episode promises something for everyone. So, grab your favorite blanket, dim the lights, and prepare yourself for an unforgettable exploration. By the end of this video, you'll not only have a deeper understanding of Miami City Cemetery's haunted past but also a newfound appreciation for the unseen forces that linger just beyond the veil of our everyday lives. Let's begin, shall we? The Eternal Sentinel, the ghost of Dr. James Jackson among the countless graves at Miami City Cemetery. One name stands out as both a historical cornerstone and a spectral enigma: Dr. James M. Jackson. As one of Miami's founding fathers and its first practicing physician, Dr. Jackson's legacy looms large over the city's early development. Yet, his story does not end with his passing in 1924. Instead, it continues to unfold in ghostly whispers and chilling encounters that keep his memory alive in ways no monument ever could. His grave, marked by a simple yet dignified headstone, has become a focal point for paranormal activity, drawing visitors who seek answers, or perhaps, unknowingly, something far more sinister. Dr. Jackson arrived in Miami in 1896, just as the fledgling settlement was beginning to take shape. He quickly established himself as a pillar of the community, treating patients from all walks of life and playing an instrumental role in the establishment of what would later become Jackson Memorial Hospital, a testament to his enduring impact on public health in South Florida. When he died suddenly of a heart attack at the age of 50, the entire city mourned his loss. His burial at Miami City Cemetery ensured that he remained close to the people he had served so faithfully during his lifetime. However, those who visit his grave today often report experiences that suggest his spirit never truly left. One of the most common accounts involves visitors feeling an inexplicable warmth near Dr. Jackson's headstone, even on the coldest nights. Some describe it as though the air around the grave radiates a comforting presence, as if the doctor himself is offering solace to those who pay their respects. Others claim to hear faint whispers emanating from the vicinity, the words indistinct but carrying an unmistakable tone of reassurance. One particularly striking account comes from a local historian who swore she saw a translucent figure standing beside the grave, dressed in early 20th century medical attire. The apparition appeared to be examining a clipboard before vanishing into thin air. Skeptics dismiss such sightings as tricks of the light or overactive imaginations, but believers argue that Dr. Jackson's spirit remains tethered to the cemetery, continuing his mission of healing long after death. Equally intriguing are the reports of ghostly figures resembling patients wandering near Dr. Jackson's grave. Witnesses describe seeing shadowy individuals lying on invisible gurneys or clutching phantom bandages, their forms flickering like candle flames in the moonlight. Some claim these apparitions belong to patients Dr. Jackson treated during epidemics such as the Spanish flu or yellow fever, epidemics that claimed countless lives despite his best efforts. Others believe they represent the countless unnamed individuals buried in unmarked graves throughout the cemetery, their spirits drawn to Dr. Jackson as a source of comfort in the afterlife. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Dr. Jackson's haunting is the occasional sensation of being watched. Visitors have reported feeling icy fingers brushing against their skin or hearing footsteps trailing behind them, only to turn and find no one there. These phenomena seem to occur most frequently at twilight, when the boundary between day and night blurs, creating an atmosphere ripe for otherworldly encounters. While some interpret these experiences as signs of malevolence, many view them as manifestations of Dr. Jackson's protective instincts, ensuring that his final resting place, and those interred nearby, are safeguarded from harm. Together, the legends surrounding Dr. James Jackson paint a vivid portrait of Miami City Cemetery as a place where history and horror converge. His grave may appear unassuming, but the energy emanating from it speaks volumes about the man he was, and perhaps still is. As we leave this haunted haven behind, the echoes of his eternal vigil continue to reverberate, urging us to reflect on the fragility of life and the enduring power of memory. Echoes beneath the waves. The tragic tale of Julia Tuttle. Not far from the solemn rows of Miami City Cemetery lies a tale steeped in both triumph and tragedy. The story of Julia Tuttle, often hailed as the Mother of Miami. Her contributions to the city's founding are undeniable, yet her legacy is tinged with sorrow, for her dreams were cut tragically short. Though her physical remains rest elsewhere, her spirit is said to linger within the cemetery's confines, drawn to the place where she once envisioned greatness. Julia Tuttle's vision for Miami began in the late 19th century, when she recognized the potential of the untamed wilderness along Biscayne Bay. A widow with 2 young children, Tuttle poured her resources and determination into transforming the area into a thriving hub of commerce and culture. She famously convinced railroad magnate Henry Flagler to extend his Florida East Coast Railway to Miami by sending him orange blossoms during a statewide freeze, proving that the region's tropical climate was ideal for agriculture and development. Thanks to her efforts, Miami was incorporated in 1896, forever cementing her place in history. However, Tuttle's success came at great personal cost. Financial struggles plagued her later years, leaving her unable to enjoy the prosperity she helped create. She died in 1898 at the age of 50, her body laid to rest in a family plot outside Miami. Despite her absence, locals believe her spirit found its way back to the city she loved, lingering among the graves of those who benefited from her vision. Visitors to Miami City Cemetery have reported strange occurrences linked to Tuttle's presence. Many describe feeling an overwhelming sense of melancholy while walking near certain sections of the cemetery, as though the weight of unfulfilled dreams hangs heavy in the air. Others claim to see the apparition of a woman in Victorian-era clothing wandering aimlessly among the tombstones, her expression one of quiet resignation. One particularly haunting account involves a tour guide who swore he heard a woman's voice whisper, "It should have been different," before turning to find no one there. The most compelling evidence of Tuttle's spectral return comes from the cemetery's oldest section, where several graves bear inscriptions honoring Miami's pioneers. Here, witnesses report seeing a translucent figure kneeling beside the markers, her hands clasped as if in prayer. Some believe she visits these sites to pay tribute to the individuals who shared her vision, while others speculate she is searching for absolution, for the sacrifices she made and the hardships she endured. Adding to the mystery are the sounds of distant waves crashing against the shore, audible even when miles away from the ocean. Locals interpret this phenomenon as a reminder of Tuttle's lifelong connection to Biscayne Bay, the waterway that inspired her dream of a bustling port city. For those attuned to the supernatural, these auditory echoes serve as proof that her spirit remains tied to the land she fought so hard to cultivate. Together, the legends surrounding Julia Tuttle underscore the haunting duality of Miami City Cemetery, a place of breathtaking beauty and profound melancholy, where ambition and loss dance in delicate balance. Each ripple, each shadow, and each chill in the air carries the weight of countless untold stories, inviting visitors to step into a realm where the past refuses to stay buried. As we leave this haunted haven behind, the whispers of its spectral inhabitants linger, urging us to tread lightly, for in Miami, not all legends are confined to dry land. Shadows among the stones. The haunting of the Confederate section. Deep within the sprawling expanse of Miami City Cemetery lies a somber corner known as the Confederate section, a dedicated plot reserved for soldiers who fought, and often perished, in the American Civil War. Though geographically distant from the battlefields of Gettysburg or Antietam, this hallowed ground serves as a poignant reminder of the conflict's reach, housing the remains of Southern veterans who migrated to South Florida in search of new beginnings. Yet, their final resting place has become anything but peaceful, as tales of spectral soldiers and unrelenting anguish suggest that the horrors of war transcend time and space. The Confederate section is marked by rows of weathered headstones, their inscriptions faded by decades of sun, rain, and salt-laden winds. At first glance, the area appears serene, almost picturesque, an ironic contrast to the turmoil experienced by those buried beneath its soil. But as dusk falls and shadows lengthen, visitors have reported encountering phenomena that defy explanation. Among the most frequent claims are sightings of ghostly figures clad in tattered Confederate uniforms, their faces gaunt and eyes hollow. These apparitions are often seen marching silently in formation across the grassy knolls, their movements synchronized as though reliving battles long past. Some witnesses describe hearing the faint clatter of musket fire or the muffled commands of officers echoing through the stillness, transporting them momentarily to the chaos of 19th century warfare. One particularly harrowing account comes from a group of reenactors who spent the night filming a documentary near the Confederate section. They reported waking to find their equipment scattered and their cameras inexplicably turned off, while one member swore he saw a blood-soaked soldier staring at him from behind a headstone before vanishing without a trace. Others recount feeling an oppressive weight in the air, as though the collective grief of thousands lingers in every breath. Those brave enough to venture close to the graves often describe being overcome by sudden drops in temperature, accompanied by the sensation of icy hands gripping their shoulders. Skeptics attribute these experiences to psychological suggestion or environmental quirks, but those who have witnessed them firsthand insist that something otherworldly resides within the Confederate section, a lingering testament to the suffering endured by those who called it home. Adding to the mystery are the stories of disembodied voices calling out names unfamiliar to modern ears, their tones ranging from urgent to mournful. Some interpret these whispers as attempts by the fallen soldiers to communicate with loved ones left behind, while others believe they represent the cries of comrades lost in battle. One recurring legend tells of a lone bugler whose plaintive notes can be heard drifting through the cemetery at midnight, summoning the spirits of the dead to rise and march once more. Locals say the melody is hauntingly beautiful, yet it leaves listeners with an indelible sense of unease, as if the music itself carries the weight of unresolved grief. Despite the eerie reputation of the Confederate section, some view its spectral inhabitants as guardians rather than threats. Believers argue that the soldiers' restless spirits remain tethered to the cemetery out of duty, ensuring that their sacrifices are not forgotten. Their presence, though unsettling, serves as a reminder of the human cost of war and the enduring scars it leaves behind. Together, the haunting tales of the Confederate section encapsulate the haunting essence of Miami City Cemetery, a place where fear and fascination collide, where history and horror blur into one. Each shadow, each sound, and each chill in the air carries the weight of lives upended and questions left unanswered. As we leave this haunted haven behind, the whispers of its spectral inhabitants linger, urging us to tread lightly, for in this sacred ground, not all legends are merely stories, threads of the unseen, connecting Miami City Cemetery's haunted tapestry. As we weave together the spectral narratives of Miami City Cemetery, a profound pattern emerges. One that transcends individual graves and monuments to reveal a shared tapestry of human experience. From the eternal vigil of Dr. James Jackson to the melancholic wanderings of Julia Tuttle, from the anguished marches of Confederate soldiers to the whispered prayers of unnamed souls, these stories are not isolated curiosities but threads in the intricate fabric of existence. Each haunted locale, though unique in its history and geography, resonates with universal themes of love, loss, and the unrelenting passage of time, binding them together in a symphony of shadows that speaks to the very core of what it means to be human. Consider the parallels between the tragic figure of Julia Tuttle and the spectral soldiers of the Confederate section. Both represent lives extinguished far too soon, their premature deaths leaving behind a void that defies closure. Tuttle's restless spirit wanders the cemetery, searching for absolution or fulfillment, much like the ghostly soldiers who march eternally across the battlefield of memory. These stories remind us that death is not an end but a transition, one that leaves ripples in the lives of those left behind, shaping how we remember and honor the departed. The haunting tales of Dr. James Jackson further underscore the universality of these themes. His comforting presence near his grave evokes the timeless tension between mortality and immortality. His spectral vigil serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the ways in which systemic neglect and abuse can haunt individuals long after their physical demise. Likewise, the mournful whispers of the Confederate section reflect humanity's enduring fascination with justice and accountability. Whether it's the vengeful cries of fallen soldiers or the shadowy entities lurking in the cemetery's corners, these apparitions embody the consequences of actions taken, or not taken, in life, suggesting that accountability extends beyond the grave. Even the architectural elements of the cemetery contribute to its interconnectedness. The weathered stones of Jackson's modest headstone mirror the crumbling markers of the Confederate section, while the ornate mausoleums echo the isolation of the unmarked graves scattered throughout the grounds. These structures serve as visual metaphors for the permanence of memory and the impermanence of life itself. They remind us that every grave, every shadow, and every whispered echo carries the weight of lives cut tragically short, urging visitors to consider how their own lives might be remembered, or forgotten, when they are gone. What ties these haunted sites together most profoundly is their ability to transform personal tragedies into universal truths. Whether it's the mournful wail of a mother in Gettysburg or the faint laughter of a child in Bonaventure, these spectral echoes speak to something deeply ingrained in the human psyche: the desire to connect, to understand, and to find meaning in the face of mortality. They challenge us to confront our own fears and vulnerabilities, urging us to acknowledge the ephemeral nature of life while celebrating the enduring power of memory. Ultimately, the connection between these haunted places lies in their capacity to transcend the boundaries of time and space, linking the living to the dead in ways both tangible and intangible. They remind us that the past is never truly buried. It lingers in the whispers of the wind, the chill of the night, and the shadows that stretch across the ground. And in doing so, they invite us to reflect not only on the stories of those who came before us but also on the legacies we wish to leave behind. For in the end, the true haunting is not the presence of ghosts, it is the realization that our lives, too, are part of a continuum, forever entwined with the eternal cycle of memory and forgetting. Reflections on Miami's eternal mysteries. As we bring this spectral journey through Miami City Cemetery to a close, one truth becomes abundantly clear: these sacred grounds and forsaken spaces are far more than mere settings for ghost stories. They are portals to the soul of humanity itself. From the submerged ruins of Old Forsyth beneath Bull Shoals Lake to the oppressive corridors of Tucker Unit Prison, from the Gothic elegance of Crescent Hotel to the eerie isolation of Bell Witch Cave, each site we've explored serves as a testament to the enduring power of memory, the weight of unresolved grief, and the universal quest for meaning in the face of mortality. These haunting tales are not isolated curiosities but threads in the intricate tapestry of human existence, weaving together themes of love, loss, and legacy that transcend time and place. What makes these locations truly significant is their ability to blur the boundaries between the living and the dead, the past and the present. They remind us that death is not an end but a continuation, a lingering presence that shapes how we navigate the world and understand our place within it. Whether it's the ghostly laughter of Michael at Crescent Hotel or the anguished cries of inmates in Tucker Unit Prison, these stories compel us to confront uncomfortable truths about our own mortality and the legacies we leave behind. They challenge us to reflect on the choices we make in life and the impact those choices have on the generations that follow. But perhaps the most profound takeaway from these haunted locales is their universality. While the settings may differ, from the serene waters of Bull Shoals Lake to the rusted bars of Tucker Unit Prison, the emotions they evoke are timeless and relatable. Fear, longing, hope, and sorrow are threads that bind us all, transcending the boundaries of culture, geography, and era. In the ghostly whispers of these places, we find not just the stories of others but fragments of our own humanity. These spirits, whether real or imagined, ask us to pause and consider, what do we leave behind when our time comes? How do we want to be remembered? And what unseen forces shape the world we inhabit? As you step away from this episode, I encourage you to carry these reflections with you. Let them linger in your mind as you walk the streets of your own town or wander through a forgotten corner of Arkansas. Because in the end, the true power of these haunted tales lies not in their ability to scare us but in their capacity to connect us, to the past, to each other, and to the mysteries that bind us all. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your heart curious, and your mind ready to embrace the unknown. Good night, and sweet dreams.